Hello. Hello, people out there. My name is Ronald Love, King Levi, owner of Ink Illustrations. I'm a rapper, a journalist, uh, big brother to five. Uh, psh, I don't know. Shit, I was born in 1990, December the 14th, 1990, and my mother was Jennifer Solders, and my father was Ronald Love. I don't know his middle name. Wish I knew the brother more, but I don't. I have three sisters and one brother. I have a couple of step family members, another brother, two other brothers, I think three other brothers, and one more sister on my father's side. Now, if you're wondering what I'm smoking, this is calamine, sage, raspberry leaves, ginger, boiled and burdock, and then I chopped it up and I put it in a paper, and clove powder. No weed. Weed is genetically altered and it's been spliced too many times to enhance the THC, and it's not. By the time now, that shit should not be good for you to smoke, other than just getting high. As a psychedelic that hits your nervous system and release dopamine in your body, it should help in terms of muscle spasms and you know so on and so forth. So they will be correct scientifically in solving those problems and helping with kill cancer because it is a herb. I don't know if it's antiviral, but I'm just saying. But it has been genetically altered over the time, so it is not to be consumed on a regular, smoked on an average basis. You know, well, I come to you today because I was going to take my time out to plan and do some more research about what I was going to say on these channels. But due to a lot of misinformation and a lot of people mistrusting people based off of misinformation, and a lot of phonies out there, and a lot of people just ain't being real with people, I'm going to be completely honest with y'all and let y'all know that I honestly know what I'm talking about via natural calisthenics, the knowing things by ways of how things are just natural, and the credentials that I have to back these things up. I didn't know I could see my eyes. The things that I have to back these things up is not only my own intellect and my own travel and research that I've done for about 7 years now. But I literally met extraterrestrials in Los Angeles. Once again, this is not weed. I understand that people go through mistrust in their lives all the time, every day. My name is Ronald J. Love, Ronald Genrio Love. I was a traveling journalist slash activist slash rapper, and I just wanted to make a change in my communities. And I did not know the truth. I was looking for the truth, and I found the truth by some extraterrestrials in Los Angeles who were descendants, who are descendants of the Olmec tribe. Once again, this is calamine, sage, raspberry leaves, cloves, and ginger. It's really good for you. It's an anti-inflammation, an antibacterial, and it's not a psychedelic. It does have THC in it, but it's just it's an enhancer. It gives you some more energy. It clears out your system, and it calms you down. It's good for your nervous system and anxiety. Also helps you lose weight and clear out your some of your brain cavities. All this stuff I'm telling you guys, y'all can do your own research. I know that a lot of people get misled by information on the internet, but I'm just here to tell you the truth. So I took a lot of notes while I was inside, and I was going to do some research and then spit it to y'all. But I didn't want to come out like a phony or a fake and try to have some type of professional script to it and all types of things like that. So I wanted to make sure how I told you guys at least made it sound like I was coming from the heart so I can get some belief out there. So I did make bullet point notes to go off of my phone to go over these topics at least one at a time, and they might run over. I got I just got some new beats, so I will still be rapping. I am working on a clothing line from Ink Illustration. This called Triple O. It's gonna be like a spin off from like Triple OGs and like you know you know the evolvement of like a gangster nation. Not necessarily gangster nation, but the involvement of just the nature of just being aggressively creative through creativity using your art. You know, it's just poetic justice. That's all it is. I ain't trying to bring something to the light that should not be, nor should we judge anybody for what they do, regardless of, no matter what it is. You know, so it's just triple O. Be an agent of change, and be the best creative that you can possibly be. Triple O. Be real with it. Come out with your best stuff, and put it out there, really put out some real art. That's what the Triple O is about. And it also has some background, a deeper meaning to it. We're gonna get to that later. But I just really want to spit this information to y'all because this is really important, and this is really what this video is about. You know, uh, so let me see where I'm gonna start out the blue just to prove to you guys that I know what I'm talking about, and I was trained by extraterrestrials. I know that part gonna sound crazy, but everybody that know me, I'm from the hood. I'm from Dalworth. Dalworth. I was born in San Diego, California during the '90s, and I don't even got to spit my credentials when it comes to my family, but um I was raised in the South, in Dallas Fort Worth, in the ghettos and projects, and it wasn't all that bad all the time. But you know, I'm just saying that because I'm not the type of person, and I never came from a type of place or background that would make up stories about meeting extraterrestrials. So regardless of who watches this or whatever it may be, you know, let it be known that I'm not crazy. They tried to say I was crazy and give me some pills and had this whole court case and stuff like that, but I was just talking to aliens, and it's just crazy how they sit up here and they try to say that you something and you not, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people dealt with that and really didn't understand and really wasn't trying to go out the way to actually understand what was really going on, full on throughout the whole situation, but they would just accuse you just to just to get them stats right, on their part, you know, instead of actually going inside, which the government does not do, and finding out the truth and the real source of the problem and solve the problem from where it really comes from. And that was really my problem. That was my whole ordeal. So they just called me crazy and tried to slap me with a charge or whatnot, and gave me a little leeway because they just couldn't answer anything. They didn't want to go to trial. They blackmailed me and everything, and that's just what it was. But they couldn't combat anything I was saying. Like, what I want to tell you guys is that I'm a great debater. You know what I'm saying? I had to raise my brothers and sisters. I had to combat my mother and my grandmother's behavior, my family's behavior, and live in the hood, in projects, be poor, deal with dysfunctional situations, dysfunctional people, and just the whole nine. And grow up in not all the time, but grow up in certain situations where I have to always use my mind. You know what I'm saying? We never had money to entertain us or anything like that. So I also was vivid with my imagination, and it turns out that I'm artistic as well, because of it. But you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying it molded me to to be able to argue well. So while I'm in there and these things happen and people trying to argue with me about these things, I'm just shredding them, because it's not only that I met aliens, they taught me. They took me to a school. They took me to a telekinetic school. So I'll be out here and I'm looking bummy. I'm looking this way. I'm looking that way. But you don't ever know that these aliens are talking to me telekinetically, actually teaching me in a project that they actually called the Celestial Road. The Celestial Road, in the terms in which these aliens were training me by, actually looked like the star alignment from I think it's the star alignment from Orion's archery. Like, he's shooting the bow and arrow, and the line from the arrow is actually parallel with another. Hold on, it's actually parallel with another line, and it's actually in the stars. So as you see, there's street lights that's parallel with another with the other side of the street, and if you look up, they're just like those. and those are what those extraterrestrials actually called the celestial road. Because I mean, that's why they call it that, because it looks like a road here, and that's why it looks like that. Not necessarily why it looks like that. This is another, deeper, intimate part in why there are some constellations in the stars that actually look like they aren't natural, that might have been maneuvered or manipulated to be in that shape, because it isn't always natural to see these shapes in the sky, but see that they're completely symmetrical in a way that does not seem randomized at all. So it wouldn't necessarily be, natural and such, So, people got to really look at that, but they don't really be looking at that. But that's another one too. But yeah, that's why they call it the celestial road, and I wasn't the first person to go through it. It's actually it's not a tradition. What they were doing is what the aliens were doing was a tradition in which it wasn't necessarily a tradition, but it was just what they did. They were lightsabers. You know what I'm saying? They taught me to get me to they taught me and got me to learn through their way. And that was like this psycho back and forth, weeding out bad information type deal. Like, they'll have me walk up one end of the sidewalk, and then they'll have me turn around. They'll no walk to the one end of the sidewalk, and they ask me like a million questions, like super fast. Like super fast, like how you talk in your head, that's how they talk to you telekinetically, and they'll talk to you real fast and ask you a lot of questions to speed up your mind fast enough for you to answer them. And if they didn't want you to think about it, it's because they wanted you to think about it, the question that they're asking you naturally, as if you were actually in nature thinking about the question without you questioning yourself, so you would have a raw thought toward the question that they was asking you, so you would answer the question absolutely honestly through what you actually believe it is, instead of you referring back to all the information that you were taught by everything that you've been taught by naturally. And then they wanted you to think about that, and then they'll turn you around and then walk you in a different direction and stick you with that answer that you had, and ask you a million questions about that answer that you had, and try to get you to coincide with a certain opinion, not opinion, but a certain a selection of questions, if you will, that they would choose to get you to jog your memory. I mean, not jog your memory, but jog your mind, try to knock you out of a certain mindset, to get you to come up with your answer, with an answer that you believe that's correct, that they're trying to unjog your mind by. And then they'll keep dragging you back and forth until you either believe that you got the right answer, or for damn sure you got the right answer. And then they'll cross-reference that from everything that you know and everything that you heard of, and they'll even get you to, now actually, while they were doing this, you were not allowed to have a phone, you weren't allowed to have a computer, you weren't allowed to talk to people during the daytime. You were like, you had to blend in though. You had to blend in, like every single time you were doing this stuff, you couldn't be seen or known that you were crazy, or that you were talking to them. So what had to happen was, you had to be in incognito every single time somebody ran into you, no matter what it is, who it was. And need I mind you that they were talking to you so fast and asking you all these questions, your mind was running. And they used to call this method of questioning, every single morning that they did this to you, coffee. They used to call it coffee, like in the junction of how people have like a social, like how people have like a social small talk somewhere. These beings will call it coffee in accordance with, you know, how people, you know, ask other people out to have like a social small talk. They would call it coffee. And so every morning you would wake up in the middle of wherever you were. At that time, I was at Venice Beach, and I was there for like I was there for like 4, 5, 6 months, and they'll wake you up every single day. And the first thing you would do is you would go out and you would go find food. You go out and find random places. You'll go out anywhere and walk as far as you can. I mean, not as far as you can. You go out and see what part of the party or what part of whatever was left over last night was there to pick up on, so you can like find out where the leftover food, or if somebody left over some clothes or something like that. But you had to be back. Not you had to be back, is that they led you back telekinetically, and they were also manipulating other people around there and just certain events, because that's how they operated, just to get you some food. You know what I'm saying? But before that, I'm just speaking on this right here, but before that, you weren't even allowed to just eat whatever. See, beforehand, they were actually teaching me that you actually eat the leaves off the tree. That's what they were teaching me. And from eating the leaves off the tree, you actually found out that your endurance in nature actually has an extreme amount of longevity. Like not the word I'm looking for isn't longevity, but it actually is. You know what I'm saying? They also taught me when people try to correct you on a certain part of your grammar or what you're trying to say, it's not like people don't know what you're talking about, because people know what you're talking about. So believe in what you say, because people know what you're trying to say. Or if not trying to say, you know what you're trying to say and they know what you're saying. So don't let these people tell you, you know, what improper grammar is, and people know what I actually said when I said longevity. They was like, believe in what you say, because we wouldn't have chose you, we wouldn't have said this about you, and you would not be here if we did not believe in you. You know what I'm saying? So they told me straight up, they were like, believe in yourself, straight up. They, you know, they ain't no promises that I'm gonna stay alive forever or nothing, or they made the right choice, like I'm the one or whatever. It ain't like that, because they told me even they weren't God, but they the first time they shoved some telekinesis on me, the niggas asked me straight up. They were black aliens, by the way. And there were other races of aliens, but the ones that were training me was not only black, there were other races, but the ones that, you know, was on me, it was black aliens, straight up. And the niggas asked me for real, they asked me, they took over my mind, they said, who am I? And I was so afraid to say it. Them niggas said, they said, no, they was like, who am I? And the dude that was training me, that was like on my back, his name was Damien, and he was a part of a jungle tribe. And you were assigned to people from the alien military according to your element that you were made by. You know, astrology is actually the geographics of, you know, what part of the universe you were actually made by. You know, as well as, you know, just your genes, your ethnicity in general is, you know what I'm saying, your astrology. And what else I was gonna say, yeah, your astrology is just the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It's you know, that's I don't want to go too fast, but your astrology is the same as your geographic basis on planet Earth. You know, it has everything to do with your chakras and your orishas and everything like that. But I don't want to go too fast because that's way out there. But you know, you got it. I'm pretty sure whoever listening got it. I'm just trying to put out this video because, you know, I'm getting in a space where I'm picking up speed again and my energy is back up. But I don't want to leave from this place. I understand I got to go with the flow, but I don't want to leave from this flow in this place, and people never hear this story. You know, they always hear like BS or something from all this misinformation, and I did a lot of work, and it's never on me. I also got in trouble. You can get in trouble when, you know, aliens is teaching you and stuff, you know, for they call it they said, I think you call it whipping out your dick or something, like whipping out your penis, or sometimes you gotta edit these videos, so it's like sometimes you get in trouble for being too prideful or egotistic, and you don't really get the point across because you always say I did or this and that and the other. But I actually got in trouble for that because I was like, I did this, I did that, more than one time. But I got in trouble, and they was just like, you ain't did nothing, son. You ain't did anything. You haven't done anything. Literally, you don't know what we've done. You don't know what we've been through, and these aliens are actually able to recollect their thoughts from reincarnations. Like they could have seeds, or they can go, they can time travel, and they can reclaim their thoughts from a past life. And even if they they could even go through their genes from a past, from an ancestral standpoint, from the people that they lived. Yeah, like I said, from the person that they were in a previous life, they could actually, or a future life that they can perceive. It's not the art of perception is a certain visor, but perceive is actually seeing the future as well. You gotta, another thing that I want to say is that you gotta watch these words, because a lot of these words that we're saying and have said and is in our vocabulary actually mean more than one thing. That's too simple, but they really do mean a lot more than what you saying. Like the word pervert, like that's actually, for men, because it's the it's your pierre, it's your penis, and it's the vertical. So they're speaking upon, the erection. You know what I'm saying? And for the female version, it would be because of the concaveness of the vagina. But that's, people think I don't know what I'm talking about. I promise you. You know what I'm saying? It's just, people be like, so how'd you even get that? Because that's crazy, and people laugh at you. Well, if you just look at it, and then you think, and then people laugh, and they be like, no, that's not correct. But what part of correct is that actual word? And the statement in which I just said, well, you have the pierre and the vert, and then the per as in before, and then the vert, which is the V in the vagina. So then they will try to combat you on that because of some stuff that they learned before that's misinformation. You know what I'm saying? So that means just because it's in the book and they taught y'all this, that is right? No, it's not. That's exactly what I'm trying to teach you guys. It's like a lot of this information, a lot of misinformation that's been taught is not really true. And a lot of what they had to take out of me was a lot of this misinformation that they had programmed in me that I had to get out in order to move forward, because I wanted the truth. I didn't want no half truth, and I learned so much, you know, not going to college. I'm not trying to encourage people not to go to college, because I'm on my way going back to college to be a STEM major. You know what I'm saying? But, and I forgot where my place landed, but basically, oh, okay, the elements and the dude, Damien, he was teaching me and stuff like that. Telekinetically, these niggas, like, telekinetically, they could, before I continue forward, when you daydream, you have a certain area in your mind that you actually perceive dreams and imaginations. That's actually how aliens speak to each other. like telephones actually came from the phonetics of your genes, which is the numbers in which make up your genes. And telephones, tele is the kinetics of the electricity of your mind. So you have telephones. That means I'm able to speak to you telekinetically through the phonetics of our genes. Phonetically, telephone. I'm telephoning you right now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of foreign people would say that. Native people, say that stuff, and they'll be like, you just got to catch up on some language. No, that's how they used to. That's what they just say. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to go too far back and say that's what they used to say, because I don't want to. I don't want to get all jumbled up and sidetracked with who we really used to be and how they really used to say that, and it's not new at all. So this is it's just it's really a whole lot of information. So I want to continue to say that you know this is just how I was taught. They were weeding out all this misinformation, and I wanted the truth, and they were like they were proud of me for seeking the truth, but they had to get me to reflect on what I actually accomplished from the point of my research until now. Like, I've been a humanitarian since I was probably 5 years old. I've been always intrigued in the truth since I was little. I always wanted to be a biotech engineer since I was a kid. It just I got into my art so much, and I found out that literally that's just a part of who everybody is. That's just your prowess. That's your ambition. That's just your energy. That's just your genes manufacturing the world around you. MANU while you factoring. FACTOR Turing. Factoring. That means that word is talking to mankind, saying, "Man, you are factoring." I ain't trying to. I ain't even trying to think about it because I know I can spell it, but I don't even have to spell it. That's my problem right now. You know, but it's saying that manufacturing. You are factoring the universe around you. Your power, I want to let you guys know straight up, for real, 100%, 100,000%, million thousand percent. Do not go and get a gun. Do not get a gun. Do not go out and get a gun. Nobody in the world should have guns. It is a primitive style of weaponry. As I continue to learn the way through the celestial road in which they were teaching me, they were also teaching me voodoo. This aligns with religion, which is real, REAL, I, that is yourself, Jin, GIN, in different cultures is chi. Chi, and that is the fire, that is the ether, that is your soul, that is your spirit, that is your astra, that is your water that makes up your soul being throughout the universe, throughout all dimensions. Religion, realize your jinn, realize who you actually are, which you are made of the universe. It's really what it means. Now, continuing on with that, along with manufacturing, you are of the universe. A high velocitated weapon, a high velocitated device called a gun should not be mankind's, any kinds of beings in all and be all choice of weapon for eons and years at any point in time ever in life. These niggas got these people believing that every alien in the universe is picking up a gat, is picking up a weapon, a gun at that. Once you realize that you are man and you can factor, you are your religion, you are your realized gen. Once you realize that your power is not a gun manufactured by some people a long time ago, one idea, and you understand that everybody's different and we all have the creative ability to make multiple things, unimaginable, unfathomable things of immense creation. Every single last one of us have the ability to do these things. From our manufacturing of the universe individually, independently, you will realize that you can make things far greater than a gun on any given day, at any given time, by just using the natural sciences of the earth. It's people all around the world, that's suffering from so many different, from so many things, and they don't even realize their jinn. They don't even realize how special science is. They don't even know how much science has an effect on the world around them, and they are a part of science itself. They are a part of the universe around them. The main idea of these people, the main idea of these people that are being oppressed around the world is specifically to keep them uneducated and away from their natural resources. They don't care about these having jobs. They don't care about them being slaves. They don't care about them eating out the womb or, multiplying or whatever. They don't want them to know that there's electricity in the ground. They don't want them to know that these trees are made out of electricity. That you can get more electricity out of anything, any substance around you than you can than any type of battery that's made today. They don't want you to know that everything that you're looking at is light, is a frequency. That means you can make anything regardless of its chemical base, even if this chemical base has been manipulated into some type of form of electricity or any type of other frequented array of creativity to your liking. It doesn't always have to be a weapon. I'm just letting you know that the amount of ways to create is unlimited. Not only from the standpoint of every organism that lives that does create by default, but as human beings and me talking to you, as an individual, I say we all have the ability independently to make a mass amount of scientific creations that far that far I don't that far long exceeds the ramifications of a handgun or an atom bomb or anything that you could talk about today. I mean, geez, you know what I'm saying? It's like they try to sit up here and say that they try to sit up here and say in the method that these extraterrestrials used on me was that they will walk me down to a certain side of the sidewalk, and they had people that were uncooperative, and when they were uncooperative and they didn't want to learn, it was just people they chose. They would hurt these people. Sometimes they would hurt them, but they wouldn't hurt them to kill them. You know what I'm saying? The people that they would hurt was people that weren't, too good. They weren't great people, but they just hurt them a little bit more than they, sometimes hurt us just to get them to get over that hump of that you really ain't king and you really ain't got over anybody, because there's other beings out there, even above human beings, and even above them. These aliens described to me that there are even beings out there that they're afraid of individually, because they were of different species in one groups, in one clan. Even some of these elementals, you call them elementals, but they were dark skinned, they were brown skinned. Dude was teaching me, he was from like a Rio, he was like from Southern America, South America and stuff like that. So I was from an element in which it was watery, in tropical slash, I was over there. I forgot which ocean this is, but over there past the Fiji Islands, Samoan Islands, and over there by Japan, like, because my people migrated from East Africa. They had a realm of like East Africa to Japan. They traveled throughout that whole ocean, in which they had more land on, through California, Mexico, throughout the Bermuda Triangle, because I was visited by, so through this training you're also visited by all the elements from all the people from these elements. There were also extraterrestrials as well. That was part of the training, that you actually had to meet everybody from your element that you was made from, so you can actually learn from them. And they were actually in a different dimension in which you could not communicate with them through, because they were using their elemental powers in these dimensions as they were layered in natural society. So throughout the Bermuda and like Jamaica and Haiti and stuff like that, back to West Africa, not South Africa. My stepfather, my sisters, they like South African and stuff like that, but that's how my people went. So um what I'm just saying, that was part of who trained me. That was one of the dudes that trained me, and it was a devastating. It was a very horrific time. You know what I'm saying? Because before, as they were letting me go, they were showing a profound hate for me, as they were loving me, in a sense of a mafia. They were called the Red Eye Mafia, and it was called Dogtown in Venice Beach. Dogtown is famous. I think it's a skating ring that's famous in Venice Beach. It was called Dogtown, but now it's like black Dogtown members. But the extraterrestrials there at VB was actually called the Red Eye Mob, because they they were using their third eye to do it. They were using their third eye to speak telekinetically, and I actually got to experience this just because I evolutionized from these beings, and they actually either stayed the way they were, or they were from a different planet, and they were just visiting, and it's a different, pressure in the air, this and that, so on and so forth. It's just a different, it's a different pool in the electricity over there, so they were still able to use it in a way that they were able to use it, and they had the technology and the electricity from their telekinesis to continue on using it. Now, there's huge stories behind what we were doing and how we were doing it during this time, you know. So, just to put one out there, my first contact with one of the aliens before I met Damien, before I continue on with that story, I know I sidetracked a lot, but it's a whole lot to tell, was I got in contact with like a good alien who was Omekian, and he was short. And this dude sat on the bench, and he showed me like the movie Transformers, when Archibald Wickwick, he picked up them glasses that his professor grandfather had. I don't know how he was of relation to the dude, but he picked up those glasses, and I've had this happened to me once before in San Diego, but this time the inscriptions were written at the downtown library in LA. So what had happened was they had drove me all the way, drove as in they used telekinesis to tag my body and get me to follow my spirit or a spirit or spirits, which they also call their astros, in which they could use by using astral projections, which is also real, to get me to follow them in certain directions. And if I didn't get it, well, while they had me do other stuff, but before and if I didn't get what they were trying to say as spirits or astros, they would just be like, hey, come on, man, you got to pay attention. This is really what we're trying to get you to do. You know what I'm saying? And of course they were also controlling other people to cross my path so we can speak and this and that and the other. You know what I'm saying? Like I like, for example, I went to UCLA when Lonzo Ball was there, and I didn't even know this nigga was there. I'm not a huge fan. I'm just saying, it's like they would walk me places, and I would be completely oblivious to what was going on, or who was this and who was that during the time, and I was just going out there talking to other people, doing what I had to do or whatever they had me doing. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. So they drove me, which they were leading me as astros and astros projections, and it wouldn't be difficult to understand, seeing that they were completely familiar with their sight, their third eye, which they would call their sight because that would mean they were psychic. That's what, a psychedelic gets you higher, elevatingly more with nature around you, electrically. So, you know what I'm saying? These people, they knew what they were doing. They knew what they were talking about. They just were who they were. They were supernatural beings, and we are too. We just redimensionalize ourselves in the electricity and the water. Just, I mean, that's putting it too plain. It's just we evolved from where we came from. That's really what happened, because we were always once before telekinetic. So this is just a new form in which who you are now. So like I said, they drove me to the dude, and there's a bottom line at the is a bottom symbolic. It's a bottom symbology at the bottom of a staircase, not a staircase, but an exit walkway with stairs coming from the the downtown public library, facing the streets, facing the street, and they have languages. They have languages, old and new, Spanish to like ancient languages on these stairs in downtown LA. And this alien, this Olmecan, this short Olmecan alien, was one of their engineers. I met these small aliens before in my car when I was rapping. Now I ain't trying to toot my horn, but a lot of these instances came up when I was talking to aliens when I was outside practicing my raps. I'll be up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'll be like, man, I swear, I look up in the sky, I see some clouds, or I looked to my left. I'm like, I swear I saw a big ass, a big, black ship, with an eye. Or I swear these clouds wasn't here just a second ago, or something. You look up and they moving and stuff like that, and something come out behind them or nothing, or something. And I'm like, and then you catch like wind of like, astro around you or something. And you be like, and then you catch another spirit and then you feel like there's like little small beings around you or something. And you like, nah, I'm tripping, something wrong, something really wrong with me or something like that. Only to find out that all this stuff is really true. So I was driven to hop on this this bench, not this bench, but it was like when they make those staircases going down, that border platform that keeps you from going into where they're growing grass and the flowers and stuff, the platforms and stuff that they got, the banner, Los Angeles downtown library and stuff. He's sitting on there facing the same way the symbol this the it's called something else. It's like imagery uh uh from motos or something like that. It's saying the word photo and images and symbology at the same time. So he was facing the same way his these designs, these symbols are facing towards me. And they motioned to get me to sit down next to him, right? So this is what I do. I sit down next to him. Ain't nothing special about to happen right now. I need to light this up. But so I sit down next to him and he tells me there's